Welcome to Trimming the Musical Fat. I'm Stephen Nicholson.
And I'm Paul Nicholson.
And in this, our first Trimming the Cover Version episode, we're going to be comparing the original 1967 version of the Beatles' I Am the Walrus with the 1994 cover version by massive Beatles fans Oasis, and debating which is the better. So joining us on this sonic adventure is our guest, Paul Young. So to kick things off, let's hear a bit of the Beatles' original. Here's some interesting facts about the song. So, I Am the Walrus is a song by English rock band The Beatles from their 1967 television film Magical Mystery Tour. So, the song itself was written by John Lennon and credited to Lennon and McCartney. And it was released initially on the B-side to the single Hello, Goodbye and on the Magical Mystery Tour EP and album. So, in the film, the song underscores a segment in which the band mimed to the recording at a deserted airfield. So Lennon was partly inspired by two LSD trips and Lewis Carroll's 1871 poem, The Walrus and the Carpenter. Producer George Martin arranged an added orchestral accompaniment that included violins, cellos, horns, and clarinets. The Mike Sam Singers, a 16-voice choir of professional studio vocalists, also joined the recording, variously singing nonsense lines and shrill whooping noises. Shortly after release, the song was banned by the BBC for the line, "Boy, you've been a naughty girl, you let your knickers down." Oof, how shocking.
Hello.
So now let's hear part of Oasis's more raucous cover version. So let's talk about the Oasis version. So it's supposedly a live recording of the band performing the song at the Gleneagles Hotel here in Scotland, and it was included as a B-side to the Cigarettes and Alcohol single, and was subsequently added to the 25th anniversary edition of Definitely Maybe. And it's also a track on the B-sides compilation from 98, The Master Plan. So guys, I Am the Walrus. We've heard the Beatles version, we've heard the Oasis version. Before we talk about differences between the two and maybe which we prefer, what do you think of the song overall? So, Brother Paul, I'll maybe start with you.
It's a brilliant song, absolutely amazing song, and just all the stuff going on in it. It's just amazing, and it just makes me think of the film Magical Mystery Tour, like the video. They're dressed like the walrus, and is it not from a story, isn't it? I can't remember the name.
It was based on two acid trips John Lennon had, and Lewis Carroll's 1871 poem, The Walrus and the Carpenter.
And I like at the end of it, I'm sure I remember, there's a bit of the Lassie theme tune at the end, isn't there? you know,
Oh, there's
right at the end,
loads of stuff. Oh yeah, yeah.
and
Hmm.
then
Yeah.
and the moods like Glenn Miller as well. That's at the end. So a great, brilliant song, and I suppose that's where like ELO came from as well. They used that sound in the 70s. So yeah, brilliant song.
Okay, and what do you like about the? So you maybe mentioned a lot of this already, but what you like, you kind of really been talking about the Beatles version there. So lots of trickery and
Mhm.
song snippets and sound collages put into it there. What do you like about the Oasis version?
It's just heavier. It's really good. It's brilliant. That was maybe one of the first songs I heard them doing actually. It
Oh, really?
was on a CD single
Mm.
at the time, but it's just a brilliant version. I think Oasis, in some ways, I couldn't say that no for this. In some ways, a lot of their covers are better than the originals.
Mm.
Uh, this isn't as close, but it's just good. It's live. It just and Liam's voice is but just so much energy and power in it,
Hmm.
and it's heavy and yeah, brilliant. So brilliant version, one of the best cover versions
Yeah.
of a song.
Okay, what about you, Paul? You a big fan of the song, and what do you think about the two different versions?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the song. Um, Big fan of the Beatles. I think one other good aspect about Oasis was when you hear interviews with Noel and Liam, they were always talking about their influences. So there's a lot of 60s bands, Beatles, Small Faces, the Kinks, Who, that kind of thing. And I started to listen to that kind of stuff as well off the
Mm.
back of that, and it's just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I loved it. So yeah, I was always aware of the Beatles version of it.
Yeah.
And it was always a good song. I wouldn't say it's my favourite Beatles song. I kind of liked sort of other stages of the Beatles music.
Hmm.
That'd be the magical mystery tour, wouldn't it?
Yep.
That sort.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I like that album, but I've got um, other albums I would favour over that one.
Okay.
But when I first heard that Oasis song, because they'd obviously played it a lot live when
Yeah.
Maybe and that was out, so I heard them playing it live, and it's just blew you away. It was amazing. Like Paul said, it's just that kind of heavy guitars. It's I think totally transforms the song into something else with it being
Agreed.
the same song.
yeah.
That never-ending kind of guitar solo at the end
Hmm.
was just brilliant. It was amazing, and if I'm right, I think they played that the night that Alan McGee signed them when he went.
In the Cat House.
Yeah.
The cat.
So I think they played
Yeah.
4 or 5 songs, and that was one of them. I'm the Walrus. So yeah, it's obviously been a signature song from them. You wouldn't have thought you could convert that into anything other than what it already was, but there you go. It was I like both versions, but I prefer the Oasis one. I think it's brilliant.
Okay.
Mm.
Which one do you prefer, Brother Paul?
I'm going to be loyal to the Beatles, but I do think it's a brilliant version, and it takes a lot of balls as well to like cover
Hmm.
that. I mean, it's such a hard song. How are you going to cover it on Walrus? But they did it, and yeah, some could argue it's a better version. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Hmm.
It's more rock, more heavy.
It's how to do a cover version for me, because I mean, I love the Beatles version, I love the Oasis version, and obviously I'd heard the Beatles one first, and I think for me it's one of the Beatles' best songs, and I think that like so the cellos on it, and obviously you've got lots of stuff happening in the mix there. Different sounds cut into it, and things being played backwards. Love all that. It's great. I think the genius of the Oasis thing is to say, right, yep, we're just going to take the tune and we're going to do a really scuzzy rock version of it. And Liam kind of sings it in an almost punky way, like Johnny Rotten, the way it's sang.
I agree.
Um, yeah, and it's just it's kind of this punk version, is this kind of guitar wall of sound, which takes it to a different place, but still retains what you like about the original, and that's what you want from a cover version. You don't want something identical, but you want something that's still that song, but do something really interesting and entertaining with it. And they do it with this song. And I think I remember the version. I bought the video. Was it Brighton, the by the sea? Is it by the
Yeah,
sea? Do you
Fly
remember that?
by the Sea. Yeah,
Yeah, and I remember watching that in the version that when it would finish the show with that, and nose twiddling with all the effects pedals and everything, and that end bit just goes on and on and on. Then like Noel and Liam have gone off, and the rest of the band just keep playing the rhythm section bit of it. Ah, just absolute magic, absolute magic. So for me, I love both versions. I mean, it's one of these things. See, if you're say right, you're thrown on a desert island and you're only allowed one of them, which will you take? And I'd probably go with the Beatles one. 'Cause I do like all the different sounds on it there, but it would be a very, very tough choice. Whereas more often than not, when we're comparing originals to cover versions, almost always the original. It's very easy to say, yeah, I'm taking that original. So fair play to Oasis for doing
Do
something
you,
that's good.
do you remember when Spitting Image did like a spoof one? And it was just like they made all these words like cucumbers on a washing line.
Yeah.
It was great.
Is your hail and paste it the same?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember with that.
They met Bob Dylan in the idyllic San Francisco of the mid-60s, and he introduced them to a strange substance that was to have an enormous effect on them. Tea. Despite warnings that it would lead to stronger things, the Ruttles enjoyed the pleasant effects of tea, and it influenced enormously their greatest work, Sergeant Rutter.
Of course, the main thing that comes to my mind with the Sergeant Rutter album is getting stoned and listening to it with earphones, you know, particularly the chord that lasted forever, you know.
The release of this album, a millstone in pop music history, contributed greatly to an idyllic summer of bells, flowers, and tea drinking. Its music led thousands to experiment with tea. Eventually, even the press found out and offered Dirk the chance to deny it. It's not up to me. If you come to me and ask me, I'm going to tell you the truth. Because it is the truth. I have had tea. Lots of tea. Indian tea. And biscuits. Dirk's admission created a scandal. The press grabbed hold of the wrong end of the stick and started to beat about the bush with it. Many pop stars were arrested for using and possessing tea. Nasty himself was busted by Detective Inspector Brian Plant, who brought his own to be on the safe side. There was an immediate outcry against this police persecution, and the London Times carried a full-page petition calling for the legalization of tea.
Trimming Musical Fat podcast with Stephen and Paul Nicholson production. Contact us via voicemail by going to anchor.fm/TTMF/message, or tweet us at Musical Trimming, or email us at trimmingthemusicfat@gmail.com. Keep up to date on the show by joining our Facebook group or visiting our website www.trimmingthemusicalfat.com, or support us financially by going to Patreon and getting some great podcast exclusives.
So we're going to be comparing the original 1967 version of the Beatles' I Am the Walrus with the 1999. No, we're not.